Bristol, Tennessee's Thunder Valley echoes with the roar of race cars, and it also shimmers with the shine of show cars. Where else can we get speed and beauty all in one place? Why, the Menards Chevy Show, of course. Welcome, car lovers, to Bristol, Tennessee, the Menards Chevy Show, and we'll get things started off with this beautiful lead sled, because I've got a special place in my heart for lead sleds. See, they got very popular back in the late 50s, and that's when I first started falling in love with cars. Now, you're asking yourself, this Mercury is a 1949 Mercury made by Ford. What's it doing at a Chevy show? Well, it's got a Chevy engine.
It's a 396, 375, 70-mile date-coated motor.
How did you decide on that?
I had it for years and decided to use it. It took 18 months to line the car up. The car was in excellent shape, but to get the quarter panels and everything chopped, I never had chopped the top before.
How much chop?
4 inches in the back, 3 inches in the front.
And the color, it's kind of a candy apple look, and that was very popular back in the 50s.
That's a brandy wine with a red base.
And looks like you Frenched the headlights.
Frenched the headlights, Frenched the hood, flush mounted skirts. I've done about everything to it you can name of.
Do you drive it very much?
Oh yeah, drive it a lot, getting ready to go to James Dean.
So they're meant to be driven?
Oh yeah, they meant to be driven.
The Duracell Crank It with the Copper Top Award this weekend in Thunder Valley goes to this 1967 El Camino owned by Gary Arsenault. Well, you can see why he won this award. This thing is beautiful, but it's not a car, it's not a truck, it's an El Camino. Why an El Camino?
It was the first car when I was 16 years old, when I got my first job at a Chevrolet dealer, that I ever worked on. They told me to go out and start on a row and wash the cars, and the first car I started was on a blue El Camino, and ever since then I could never get rid of it. I always told my wife I should have started in the Corvette row.
So where did you find this?
This car came out of California. It was a one-owner car until I got it. It was a father and son, and the son didn't really want it after his father passed away, and it sat around for about 20 years.
They didn't offer a 454 back in 1967. What if this was an original big block car?
It came originally, it was a 396 car, 325 horsepower. It just didn't have enough power for me, so I got that sitting in the corner of my garage.
So that's valuable.
It is a valuable motor because it does match the rest of the car.
You know, I originally sold these cars back in the 60s, and Marina Blue was my favorite color. But I wonder if that's the original color on this.
Yes, that's the original color, the Marina Blue. That was the most popular color in 1967 in the whole Chevrolet lineup. Right now it has more than enough. I do like to go fast, but only 0 to 60 anymore.
Congratulations to Gary Arsenault. That exquisite El Camino is certainly deserving of the Duracell Crank It with the Copper Top Award here in Bristol. Let's turn our attention now to the OPGI Original Award. Today's trophy goes to Bob Satterfield and his 1970 Chevelle 454. Now, when you see this car, you'll know why it won that particular award, but I was very impressed because there are a lot of LS6 Chevelles around. Most of them are clones. This one, folks, is real. He has the original build sheet that he found stuffed in the door. He has the original bill of sale. It sold for $5,200. This is a for real SS 454, 450 horsepower LS6, and I love it. Had you always wanted an LS6?
Actually, I was in high school and I saw it at a used car lot, and I fell in love with it, and I talked my mother in to let me buy it when I was 17 years old. I had saved up my money, and somehow she agreed to let me get it. And the owner before me, I got it in '74, was Bullet Bob Armstrong. He was a wrestler, 1964 Wrestler of the Year. And it just sat there because it was during the gas crunch and nobody wanted it. And I just fell in love with it.
So you restored it.
Yes, I actually got so many tickets and I parked it after 3 years. I almost lost my license and I quit driving it because the tickets, the insurance, and everything caught up with me and my mama. And so I ended up having it sit until 2 years ago and got it restored.
I would say when you were restoring it, OPG had to come in handy.
Yes, they did. I got plenty of parts from them. Yes, it's helped a lot.
Do you drive it now or are you afraid of the tickets?
I still get on it a little bit. I'm not afraid of tickets. If they get me, they get me.
With that kind of prestige, it's easy to see why the judges here at Bristol Dragway gave Bob Satterfield's Chevelle the OPGI Original Award. Of course, we didn't point out to you that it's a factory 4-speed. You better believe it. Do you have any idea what this car is worth right now with the Cal induction, good colors, and the original matching numbers engine? We'll be back with more after this.
The Menards Chevy Show is being brought to you by Z-Max, the one product for your engine, transmission, and fuel system. EVAPO-RUST, super safe rust remover. Steele Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to the Menards Chevy Show, coming to you from Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee. Well, a producer's choice. We'll start off with that. A 1948 Chevy. Are you kidding me? With a 427?
It's 427, 350, turbo, 12-bolt rear end.
With nitrous. You're not serious.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's had plenty of power, but I like the nitrous too.
So you do drive it?
Yes,
You turn the back wheel?
sometimes.
With the nitrous injection on a 427, you need some big white meats back there. Okay. How long did it take you to build this ride?
I've had that for about 7 years.
Yeah, I can see the love.
Yeah, it's never done.
Today's Rock Auto Restored Award winner here in Bristol is a 1963 Nova SS owned by Chris Starnes. Time for another award winner, and this one is very deserving. Now, in 1963, they called it a Chevy 2. They didn't call it a Nova yet, although this one says Nova because it's an SS. We'll explain a little bit later in the piece. But in 63, all of these came with 6 cylinders. You couldn't get a 327 yet.
We transplanted a little 327 in it. The SS was just a trim package in 63, so we wanted a little bit more motivation, so we put a 327 in it.
See, I told you, in 63 they didn't have a Nova, but they had this emblem if you got an SS.
Yes, sir, it is an original SS car.
How hard was it to do that, to put the V8 in and take the 6 out?
Well, I guess height suspension made it pretty easy. It was a complete bolt-on kit, and brought the whole suspension kit from him. Everything went right in. It was complete bolt-on.
And you had some help from Rock Auto.
We did have some help from Rock Auto. We got lucky and found an original thermostat housing. We looked everywhere for it and couldn't find one, and Rock Auto had it, so they saved us on that one.
It looks like the original 350 horsepower 327 air breather.
Yes, sir, it is. It's an original air breather. It sure is. We wanted that vintage look. We spent about 4 years on the restoration. My boys here, Evan and Reese, had a lot of influence on that. Really wanted to get it just a nice, clean restoration, and it's a lot of good father-son time.
It looks like Marina Blue.
Very close to Marina Blue. Yeah, it's a great shade of blue. Had a great painter work with me, and we started with the factory GM blue and just kept tinting it until we got it where we wanted it.
Well, it's a beautiful job, I'll tell you. Now, the question, do you drive it?
We drive it every chance we get. It's got about 600 miles put on it this year so far, and I think we should drive them if we're going to have them.
Congratulations to Chris on taking home the Rock Auto Restored Award here today at Thunder Valley Dragway. Every year, there's a great turnout of cars that cover the grounds of Bristol Dragway, proving once again that the volunteer state leads the way in providing eye-catching machinery for the Menards Chevy Show. Time now for another award winner. Here today at Thunder Valley, the Moonshine Sweet Tea Sweet Ride Trophy goes to Eddie Laverne and his eye-catching 56 Chevy. Well, when you look at this car in great detail, you can see why it won the award. First of all, let's start with the color. Very unusual.
I've seen a lot of 55s, 56s, and 57s. They was red, blue, green, blue and white, red and white. So I just took a gamble and thought I'd try orange and black.
And it worked.
Yes, it works real well.
Now, I like the convertible top, but it's kind of different.
It has what they call, it's like the material on a Carson top or a Cadillac. It's not the vinyl top. It don't have any creases or anything like that in it.
Yeah, it really went well. Now, it obviously didn't come with a 4-speed transmission.
It was originally an automatic car, and I put a 4-speed in it with a 350 Dart heads, air gap intake, power steering, power brakes. It has a lot of the new performance features on the car.
With a beautiful black color, it only figures he would put wheels on it. They're actually called black chrome, and they really work well. Probably hits the road well. You drive it, Mike?
It drives phenomenal. Yeah, we drive it to cruise-ins and different things. It has disc brakes, so you just got to be real careful with it. I'm still pretty meticulous with it.
I can see that. I mean, the detail work, like all the bolts and everything like that. I mean, the car is detailed immaculately.
Well, it took a lot of time, and I used to be a machinist, so yeah, I'm pretty meticulous when it comes to that.
Congratulations to Eddie and his gorgeous 56 Chevy that certainly deserve to be crowned as the Moonshine Sweet Ride Sweet Tea Award here at Bristol. Stay with us for more of the Menards Chevy Show, because when we return, we'll have a vet that honors one of the most vivacious movie stars in Hollywood history. You're watching the Menards Chevy Show, coming to you from Bristol, Tennessee. And our next producer's choice, well, it's a 2002 Corvette, but really unusual. Are you a fan of Marilyn Monroe? If you are, you'll like this car. It's got Marilyn Monroe all over the car. All sorts of special things have been done. Back in the very back is one of the famous scenes we'll find out in just a minute, featuring Marilyn Monroe. Let's start with the mural that's on the inside of the hood.
That is Marilyn Monroe, and it's called the 7-Year Itch, and that's where she had that white accordion pleated dress that was over the grate that she stood on years and years ago.
But something different about her earrings.
They sparkle in the sun. They've got diamond dust in them.
The mural on the underneath side of the trunk, what is that?
That is Rick's Cafe, and it's from the movie Casablanca. And it has James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, and Humphrey Bogart.
I've never seen an engine treatment. Talk to me about that.
Okay, some of the covers were made for me specially, and the others were airbrushed. And that came from Murphy, North Carolina, and the other artist in the back came from South Carolina.
Across the back, the Corvette emblem, there's a mural underneath that.
Yes, and that is to represent the front of the car, front of the hood, and that's a Pacific Coast Highway scene.
Here's a hard question. Who's your favorite movie star?
Marilyn Monroe. Who else?
The Gunk Tough and Trusted Award goes to Steve Duncan, owner of a 1954 Bel Air that features a classic two-tone color scheme. Now, you don't see many of these indeed the winner of our Gunk Award, especially with V8s. See, in 1954, you couldn't get a V8 in a Chevrolet until 55.
Just one of them things that worked out. The other didn't have enough power.
So what'd you put in it?
It's got a 350.
Okay, that works much better.
350 turbo. And I got it geared high where I can run the traffic on the interstate.
Why a 54 Chevy?
And I always had a soft spot for 54 Chevrolets.
They have a look all their own. This is the Bel Air, which was the top of the line back then.
Yeah.
What color is it?
It's turquoise and white.
Okay, so that's what the color. Two-tone was in back in the 50s.
Yeah, it's pretty much the original color, you know, close to it.
Steve gave it the look out of the 1950s with the tuck and roll. Yeah, we like that.
That's the way it looked back in the 50s when I grew up, and the pillows in the back and things like that. You know.
How long have you had the car?
I've had it about 8 years, I guess.
And did you restore it?
I've done about 80% of it.
So it's a work in
It was
progress.
started when I bought it, and I took it and finished it.
Was it hard for you to find one with the fender skirts?
No, actually, I had two sets of fender skirts, and I kept the best set. And
You're not getting any speeding tickets, are you?
no, I don't speed.
Well, congratulations on winning our Gunk Award.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations to Steve Duncan and his 1954 Bel Air that truly deserve to take home the Gunk Tough and Trusted Award here at Thunder Valley. Time for another producer's choice. This 1973 Chevy Nova hatchback, you wouldn't think of customizing that. Well, the gentleman who was with this car has a very interesting story as to why he did a 73 Chevy Nova hatchback.
My wife had a 74 Spirit of America when we got married 35 years ago. And she made me promise one day I'd get her another one. So it only took her 31 years to get it back, but it's ready now.
Yeah, you customize it. Does she like it?
Yes, she loves it. She wouldn't take anything for it. I've been offered quite a bit for it, but she wouldn't sell.
So does she let you drive it?
Yeah, just a little bit, but she drives it too. The engine my nephew built, it's 350 fuel injection, and it's putting about 450, 475 horse.
Oh, so your wife likes that?
Yeah, she's a little hot rodder.
I like the headers on this. 475 horsepower? Are you kidding me? That lady does get down the road. We'll be back with more from Bristol, Tennessee after this.
Menards Chevy Show is being brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Gen Y Hitch, towing made easy.
Welcome back to the Menards Chevy Show. Time for another truck, and this beauty really took our eye. What he's done with it, well, we'll get into that a little bit later on, but I wondered, how long has he owned this truck?
I'm the original owner. I bought it with 8 miles on it, and it currently has 180-some thousand.
Where did you get the idea for that bed, the way you've covered the back axle?
It was actually my wife's idea because the S10 bodies are pretty curvy, and instead of doing kind of a box notch cover, it sort of made it all rounded to make it flow with the body pretty good.
He tied the theme of black and red together very well with these seats and the carpet that's in it and the gear shifter. And you've got a very different gear shifter in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, friends of mine done that for me a while back. I like to drink Bud Light. They put a Budweiser gear shifter in there.
Do you ever drive it?
Yes, sir. Every chance I get. It ain't no fun sitting in the garage.
So you like trucks? Wait till you check out this next black beauty. Let's keep the truck theme going and hand out the LMC Truck Award to a sweet C10 from 1970 that's owned by Chris Nobile.
I started getting these C10s back in 95, I believe, my first one, and sold it, and ever since then I knew that I had done something wrong at that point, and of course I just got hooked on them and been just building them ever since.
This Chevy came originally with a 427. Most guys would be thrilled to have a 427 in their pickup truck. Not this guy, 502 cubic inch. Wow. This had a 427 originally. That wasn't big enough?
Well, not for me, it wasn't. I honestly, to be honest with you, I've always had a vision of having a 502 crate motor in the crate dropped off at my house like a big old package. And so I figured I'd just go ahead and do that because the truck was so nice. I just figured I just want to put the 502 in it.
Another thing that caught my attention on this, the foose wheels and the black paint job.
This particular paint job looks like somebody poured it on. It's been a lot of upkeep, and I swear it grows imperfections just sitting in my garage. But yeah, I like it pretty good.
Did you do anything to the brakes since you put a 502 in it? You got to stop.
Actually, I have not yet. I am going to do a disc on the back as well. I'm gonna get a big wildwood brake system for it, but one thing at a time.
The motor came first. That's more important.
Well, is it not?
Congratulations to Chris Nobile for turning his C10 into one-of-a-kind machine that truly deserves the LMC Truck Life Award here in Bristol. So far, we've had a good look at the show side of the Bristol Menards Chevy event. Now let's find out more about the go side of this legendary facility. You know, we decided we'd do something different here in the Menards Chevy show, and that's come into the control room, the central heartbeat of what goes on at all of these shows.
Swap meet, car show, of course the swap meet is just packed. We were just talking about that. We're almost running out of room in the swap meet area, but car show, and obviously you can probably see behind me a ton of race cars here.
Yeah, and also a car corral.
Yep, car corral, same thing. A lot of guys. This is big Chevy country, and it's a good opportunity where you get the Chevy enthusiast here, put your car for sale.
That's all the time we have for this edition of the Menards Chevy Show from here at Bristol Dragway. And this is just one of a dozen events on a coast-to-coast calendar featuring custom, classic, and competition cars. Next time, we'll be coming to you from Kansas with all the good stuff at Heartlawn Park, Topeka. We'll see you then.